They say marriage is built on trust and partnership. But what do you do when you discover that your husband and his incredibly toxic mother are secretly plotting to sell your house, steal your money, and leave you completely homeless? Do you confront them? Do you cry and beg them to stop? Absolutely not. I play the role of the perfect, naive little wife. I let them forge the documents. I even let them pop the champagne to celebrate. And then I watched the FBI kick the door in and ruin their entire lives. Grab a snack, because this is the story of how I served the ultimate ice-cold karma. My name is Chloe. 3 years ago, my grandfather passed away and left me a beautiful paid-off house worth about $800,000. The house was legally 100% in my name. My husband, Derek, and his nightmare of a mother, Brenda, hated this. Brenda always treated me like a maid, and Derek always listened to his mommy. They constantly pressured me to put Derek's name on the deed, but I always said no. Then about 6 months ago, Derek suddenly became incredibly nice. He started buying me flowers, taking me on dates, and acting like the perfect husband. I thought our marriage was finally healing. I was so stupid. One afternoon, I came home early from work because I felt sick. I quietly walked in and heard hushed voices in the kitchen. It was Derek and Brenda. I stood frozen in the hallway and listened. Brenda was whispering, "As soon as the cash buyer transfers the money, we move it to my offshore account. You file for divorce the very next day and we leave her with nothing." My stomach completely dropped. I waited until they left the house and I tore Derek's home office apart. I found a hidden folder hidden under his desk. Inside were forged documents. They had completely faked my signature on a power of attorney and were secretly selling my grandfather's house to a private cash buyer. They were going to steal all my money and run. I wanted to scream. I wanted to burn his clothes on the front lawn. But my grandfather was a lawyer and he taught me better. So I took my phone out, photographed every single page, and put the folder exactly back where I found it. The next morning, I went straight to a real estate attorney and the local police fraud department. I showed them everything. The detectives told me that to get a massive, undeniable conviction, we needed to let them actually try to complete the sale. We had to catch them in the act. So I became an actress. For 3 weeks, I smiled. I cooked Derek his favorite dinners. I even hugged his toxic mother. The day before the final house closing, I told Derek I was going out of town for a weekend spa trip with my girlfriends. He kissed my forehead and said, "Have fun, honey." He thought he had completely won. Friday morning at 10 a.m., Derek and Brenda were sitting in the beautiful glass-walled conference room of the title agency. The cash buyer was there. The champagne was poured. Derek was literally holding the pen, smiling at his mother, ready to sign the final forged document that would steal my entire life. And that's exactly when I opened the glass door and walked in. Derek froze. The pen dropped out of his hand. Brenda's face turned completely white. "Hi, honey," I said. "Did you really think I wouldn't show up to the sale of my own house?" Before Derek could even stutter out an excuse, 3 armed detectives walked into the room right behind me. They didn't ask questions. They grabbed Derek, slammed him against the glass table, and slapped heavy metal handcuffs on his wrists. Brenda started screaming, trying to run out the back door, but a female officer tackled her and cuffed her too. As they dragged Brenda away, she was crying, her expensive makeup running down her face. I just smiled and gave her a little wave. Shh. They were both charged with felony forgery, real estate fraud, and wire fraud. Because it was across state lines, it became a federal case. Derek is currently serving 8 years. Brenda got 5. I legally sold the house myself a month later, took the $800,000, and bought a gorgeous beachfront property where no toxic mother-in-law will ever bother me again. If you love seeing these 2 scammers get absolutely destroyed, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and let me know in the comments what you would have done. See you in the next one!